Bob Iger of Disney shows how Disney is in panic mode after he just made the most desperate move we've seen yet, and nobody's buying it. Now, Bob Iger of Disney is now adding Newsmax to Hulu, like we're all supposed to forget the years of woke garbage he pushed. Now, Bob Iger from Disney spent a decade alienating half the country, and now all of a sudden he wants conservatives back. Now, Bob Iger and Disney don't care about balance. They simply care about money, and this move proves that Bob Iger and Disney are running scared. So for years, as you all know, Bob Iger of Disney pretended like the only audience that mattered was the woke Twitter mob before X came. And now, after a stock plunge, a theme park backlash, and box office disasters piling up like a junkyard, he's acting like suddenly there's room at the table for people that he treated like the enemy. Now, it's not principled. It's, survival for Bob Iger at this point. This is the same Disney that quietly tried to make themselves look patriotic by adding pro-America branding to their site right after cutting deals with Abu Dhabi. Yeah, nothing says stars, stripes, and backdoor deals like backdoor deals with oil billionaires and foreign censorship. Now, Bob Iger from Disney didn't have some grand revelation either. You see, the market is collapsing around him, and now he's simply trying to walk it all back before the shareholders riot. Now, Newsmax isn't even new. It's been around for years and stuff, and the same left-leaning media that Disney kissed up to try to label it as some sort of Yahtzee echo chamber, wink, wink, just for being right of center, not even far right, just conservative. Now, it's also good enough. Is it good enough for Hulu? I mean, Disney spent years shoving activism down the audience's throat, as you all remember, and now that they're, looking at the fourth quarter losses, all of a sudden the alt-right boogeyman becomes a viable partner. Now, these people don't believe anything but power and profits, and Bob Iger and even Disney workers, of course, are the ringleaders of this insufferable circus. Now, this move is not about free speech at all. I can tell you that verbatim. It's about numbers, and Iger know full well the streaming war isn't going his way. Now, Disney Plus is stagnant. Hulu's been a mess. ESPN is bleeding cash. The theme parks jacked up to absurd prices that most families can't even afford anymore. And the Halloween party tickets at $229 per person. I mean, that right there is just a meltdown waiting to happen. And they wonder why families are tapping out. So what's the play? I mean, pull in Newsmax, throw a bone to the people you've mocked for years, and hope that they actually forget how you treated them during the pandemic, during the elections, by the way, during the culture wars too. Hope they come crawling back. But I mean, honestly, this is the part where Bob Iger gets destroyed by reality, where Americans aren't stupid anymore. And Bob Iger didn't suddenly, discover moderation. You see, Bob Iger simply just went on ahead. He's just the same guy who silently, while executives bragged about passing on shows because they were too white and stuff, the same guy who pushed, content that insulted the very values of the majority of the country and everything. And now we're supposed to believe that he's Mr. Nonpartisan because Newsmax lands on Hulu. No, this is a tactical retreat, not a conversion. It's about bagging viewers, not mending fences. The nightmare that Bob Iger built, under its own weight, and he's just looking for lifeboats at this point, as if the Titanic was sinking. Now, you've got this unholy contradiction where Disney's pretending to move to the center while floating Dana Walden, who's besties with Kamala Harris, as their next CEO. That would be an absolute disaster. She's already on the record saying that they passed on projects on ABC for being too white. That's not center. That's not balanced at all. That's tone deaf and elitist and stuff. And if they go forward with that particular move, any illusion of course correction explodes instantly. It's going to confirm everything people already believe about the company. And this isn't a genuine change at all. Simply put, It's just PR duct tape holding the empire together. Okay. And it doesn't even stop there. I mean, remember how Bob Iger and even Disney handled international releases like Inside Out 2, a lot of the Star Wars stuff, the stuff from Marvel. In countries like the UAE, where cultural standards are stricter, Disney all of a sudden finds out a way to edit content they claim is non negotiable here at home. So they're willing to alter the product when the money's good enough. And that tells you everything you need to know. Bob Iger doesn't even care about messaging or morals. He simply cares about the market access. And as I told you all plenty of times before, none of these companies, including Disney, even care about the whole DEI initiative. They were just doing this to avoid lawsuits as well as try to make money, okay? So, yeah, he cares about market access. If they think removing a scene saves them from another Pixar disaster, they'll do it in a heartbeat. That's not conviction. It's cowardice dressed as capitalism. And let's be honest here. This whole entire thing, this whole, Hulu Newsmax move is about one thing: securing the bag. Disney got robbed by Nelson Peltz and the shareholder revolt. Their stock took a beating, and Bob Iger, along with Disney, saw that writing on the wall, and he knows that if he doesn't pull more viewers in fast, he's going to be remembered not as the savior of Disney, but the man who let it explode on his watch. That's why they're going for volume right now. They're reaching across the aisle, not because they care, but because they're scared, okay, bars. And the fear makes even the most insufferable CEOs pretend to be reasonable. Now, Newsmax reaching 60 million potential viewers through Hulu isn't some little boost. You see, it's an admission of failure. It's Disney screaming, "Please come back," spending years pushing away the exact people who now hold the power to make or break their shows, their movies, their brands. And yeah, you can bet this is going to trigger a major meltdown inside the same activist bubbles they've been catering to for a while. Now, the same circles who insisted Newsmax was too dangerous to exist will now have to accept that it's part of the Disney it's a part of the Disney ecosystem. Now, that's not unity. That's basically hypocrisy laid bare. And Bob Iger of Disney played the long game of activism, and it backfired in spectacular fashion. Audiences checked out. Families turned to alternatives. Kids started watching YouTube and TikTok instead of overpriced Disney Plus content. Even CNN is trying to go ahead and soften its tone now, pretending to be moderate again to win back advertisers. Now, you can only insult people so many times before they actually stop paying attention. And Bob Iger of Disney has burned through nearly every ounce of goodwill the brand had once had. And the trust is gone. What's left is just damage control at this point, wrapped in a phony smile, okay? And while we're at it, why is no one talking about how ridiculous it is that Disney still relies on MSNBC and even CNBC for their internal communications and CEO appearances for Bob Iger? You see, these are networks that openly lean left, while Bob Iger of Disney is over here pretending they're playing it down the middle. It's comical at this point. They think no one notices, but everyone does. You can't claim you're becoming apolitical while keeping one foot planted firmly on the legacy media swamp. You see, that kind of double standard gets exposed fast, especially when people are paying attention. However, Newsmax didn't change, but I mean, let's be honest, Disney did. And not because, they wanted to, but because they had to, all right? You see, that's what happens when the profits dry up, okay? That's what, happens when the people you actually mock turn around and build a successful alternatives. This is not a shift in values. It's actually a shift in desperation. And if Bob Iger of Disney really wanted to regain trust, he wouldn't stop at throwing a bone to conservatives on Hulu. He'd clean house at Disney. He'd cut out the whole DEI nonsense, stop censoring movies for American audiences while bending to the foreign governments, and put family values back at center. And look, nobody's actually saying that the news networks need to all sound the same, but when the playing field gets rigged and honestly, the conservative outlets are painted as extremists just for existing, then turn around and get bought by the same companies who actually help blacklist them. That's the joke right there. You see, Bob Iger of Disney isn't doing anything brave here, okay? I'm going to put that out there right now. He's simply crawling back to the people he alienated, hoping they'd forget, but the only way this works is if accountability comes next, admitting he was wrong, and that doesn't happen with Dana Warden or another round of tone-deaf executive decisions. Meanwhile, regular Americans want things to work again. You see, they want movies that are not lectures. They want parks they can afford. They want streaming content that doesn't feel like an activist seminar. Bob Iger of Disney had every chance to go ahead and stay neutral and deliver fun, timeless stories. But instead, he simply built a divisive machine. And now it's falling apart. He is acting like he had nothing to do with it. That's not leadership at all. That's damage control after getting destroyed by your own arrogance. But I mean, look, at the end of the day, what this really shows is that Disney is not loyal to any ideology. They are loyal to the dollar, period. They'll say one thing and do another. They'll make a movie with the message one week and then cut it for international markets the next. They'll blast traditional views here and then shake hands with countries that criminalize them. The Bob Iger of Disney is not steering the ship with a vision. He's actually trying to keep it from sinking, and throwing conservative audiences a lifeline isn't kindness, it's business, basically. And the truth, and that's the truth, the media won't say out loud. So yeah, Newsmax landing on Hulu is a big deal, but not because it means Disney grew a spine. It's because Bob Iger and Disney finally realized the woke era isn't profitable. Now, it alienated half the country, cratered their box office, as a matter of fact, and turned the brand into a punchline. Now, they want to act like they're the network for everyone. I mean, honestly, it's too little too late. We see through it, and unless there's a full-blown overhaul at Disney, these half measures are going to feel like the last desperate grasps of a company that used to lead and now just tries to survive. So let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. Be sure to smash the like button if you enjoyed or shared in this video. Go ahead, subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell notifications for future uploads, and I'll see you all in the next one. Until then, peace.